Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Dear viewers, today we begin one of the most beautiful and powerful stories in the entire Quran. A story that is filled with emotion, dreams, betrayal, injustice, and finally, forgiveness and victory. It is not just a story. It is a life lesson. A journey that can heal the broken, give hope to the lost, and remind every heart that Allah never forgets His servant. This is the story of a young boy who was thrown into a well, who spent years in a prison, but then became one of the most powerful men in Egypt, not because he chased power, but because he held on to patience and trust in Allah. This is the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Let's begin. Yusuf alayhi salam was the son of a prophet, Yaqub alayhi salam, who was the son of Ishaq alayhi salam, who was the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. A pure and blessed family line. From a young age, Yusuf alayhi salam was different. He was gentle, soft-spoken, kind, and very handsome. He had a light in his face that made people love him. One night, Yusuf, still a young boy, came running to his father Yaqub. His face was lit with wonder, his eyes wide with amazement. He said, "O my father, indeed I have seen 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me." Surah Yusuf 12:4. Subhanallah. What a strange dream. What could it mean? But Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam was not confused. He understood right away that this dream was not just from imagination. It was a true dream, a gift from Allah. He looked at Yusuf with love and said, "O my son, do not relate your vision to your brothers or they will plot against you. Indeed, Shaitan is a clear enemy to man." Surah Yusuf 12:5. Why did Yaqub say that? Because he knew. He knew that Yusuf's brothers were jealous. They felt that Yusuf and his younger brother Binyamin were more loved by their father, and jealousy is a dangerous thing. Yaqub alayhi salam continued, "And thus will your Lord choose you, and teach you the interpretation of dreams, and complete His favor upon you, and upon the family of Yaqub." Surah Yusuf 12:6. From this moment, we know. Yusuf alayhi salam was chosen by Allah for something great. But greatness does not come without trials. Yusuf alayhi salam had 10 older brothers. They were strong men, grown up, but their hearts were filled with envy. They saw how their father smiled more around Yusuf. They saw how he showed love and care to him. But instead of asking their father for love, they let Shaitan fill their hearts with hatred. One day, the brothers gathered together and said, "Surely Yusuf and his brother are more beloved to our father than we, while we are a strong group. Indeed, our father is clearly in error." Surah Yusuf 12:8. Imagine that. They thought the only way to get their father's attention was to remove Yusuf. So one of them said, "Kill Yusuf or cast him out to some land, so the favor of your father may be only for you." But another one, who had some goodness in his heart, said, "Do not kill him. Throw him into the bottom of a well. Perhaps a caravan will pick him up." And so, they planned. They went to their father and asked, "O our father, why do you not trust us with Yusuf, while we are sincere to him?" They begged him to let Yusuf go play with them. They promised to take care of him. Yaqub alayhi salam felt something was wrong. He said, "Indeed, it saddens me that you should take him, and I fear that a wolf may eat him while you are unaware." But the brothers laughed. They said, "How could a wolf eat him while we are a strong group?" Yaqub alayhi salam finally agreed, and with tears in his eyes, he let Yusuf go. Once they were far from their father's eyes, their faces changed. No more smiles, no more brotherly love. They grabbed Yusuf, and despite his crying, his pleading, they threw him into the bottom of a dark, cold well. Imagine the fear, the pain, the shock. A young boy, alone, deep in the earth. But even in that moment, Allah was with him. And we inspired to him. You will surely inform them someday about this affair while they do not perceive. Surah Yusuf, 12:15. Allah was already comforting Yusuf, telling him, "This is not the end. You will rise again." The brothers returned home at night, pretending to cry. They came to their father and said, "O our father, indeed we went racing and left Yusuf by our belongings, and a wolf ate him, but you would not believe us, even if we were truthful." They brought back Yusuf's shirt, stained with fake blood. But Yaqub alayhis salam knew. He looked at the shirt and said, "Rather, your souls have enticed you to something, so patience is most fitting." And he turned to Allah with his grief. Meanwhile, in the well, Yusuf alayhis salam awaited, scared, hungry, alone. But not for long. A caravan passed by. A man came to draw water and dropped his bucket down the well. Suddenly he felt something heavy. He pulled it up, and to his shock, there was a beautiful young boy inside. "Oh, good news! Here is a boy!" But instead of helping him, they saw a chance to make money. They took Yusuf to Egypt and sold him as a slave for a few silver coins. They didn't know who this boy truly was. In Egypt, he was bought by a nobleman, the Aziz, who said to his wife, "Make his stay comfortable. Perhaps he may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son." Now Yusuf was safe, but still a stranger in a new land, a slave in a palace. As years passed, Yusuf alayhis salam grew into a strong, wise, and incredibly handsome young man. Allah had blessed him with beauty, but also with noble character and knowledge. But his tests were far from over. The wife of the Aziz, seeing Yusuf's beauty, tried to seduce him. She locked the doors and said, "Come to me." But Yusuf alayhis salam replied, "I seek the refuge of Allah. Indeed, He is my master, who has made my stay good. Indeed, wrongdoers will never succeed." He ran away from sin, even when no one was watching, even though he was a slave and could have escaped blame. As he ran toward the door, she tore his shirt from behind, and just then, the Aziz walked in. She tried to twist the story, accusing Yusuf, but Allah exposed the truth. A witness from her family said, "If his shirt is torn from the front, she is telling the truth. But if it is torn from the back, then she is lying, and he is truthful." The shirt was torn from the back. The Aziz realized the truth. He turned to his wife and said, "Indeed, this is from the women's plan. Indeed, your plan is great. Yusuf, ignore this, and you, ask forgiveness for your sin." But even though Yusuf was innocent, the whispers started. People began talking. To protect their image, they made a shocking decision. They threw Yusuf into prison. Now Yusuf was in prison, an innocent man, jailed for a crime he never committed. But even in prison, he was calm, patient, positive. He didn't sit in sadness. He helped the prisoners, spoke kindly, and became loved and respected. 2 men entered prison with him. Both had strange dreams. One said, "I saw myself squeezing wine." The other said, "I saw myself carrying bread on my head and birds were eating from it." They asked Yusuf alayhis salam to explain what their dreams meant. Before answering, Yusuf alayhis salam gave them a message of faith. He said, "This is from what my Lord has taught me. I have left the religion of people who don't believe in Allah. I follow the way of my forefathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub." He reminded them of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. Then he told them the meanings. One of them would return to serve wine to the king. The other would be executed. And it happened exactly as Yusuf said. He told the one who would survive, "Mention me to your master." But when the man was released, he forgot. And Yusuf stayed in prison for many more years. To be continued. Years passed. Yusuf alayhis salam remained in prison. But Allah never forgets His chosen ones. One night, the king of Egypt had a strange and troubling dream. He saw 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 skinny cows, and 7 green ears of corn and 7 dry ones. Surah Yusuf, 12:43. No one could explain it. The king asked his advisors and scholars, but they were confused. They said, "These are just mixed-up dreams. We don't know how to interpret them." At that moment, the man who had once been in prison with Yusuf suddenly remembered. He said, "I will inform you of its interpretation, so send me forth." He rushed to the prison and found Yusuf upon him, peace be upon him. He said, "Yusuf, the man of truth, tell us what it means." And Yusuf alayhis salamu, calm and wise, explained, "You will have 7 years of good harvest. Save from it what you can, but keep a little for eating. After that, 7 hard years will come, which will consume most of what you saved. Then after that, will come a year of rain, and people will press grapes and olives again." Subhanallah. What deep wisdom. He didn't just explain the dream. He gave a plan to save the nation. The man returned to the king and told him everything. The king was amazed. He said, "Bring this man to me." But Yusuf alayhis salam, noble and dignified, refused to come out just like that. He wanted the truth to be known. He said, "Ask the king about the women who cut their hands. Surely my lord knows the truth." And so the king gathered the women who had tried to seduce Yusuf years ago. He asked them, "What was your affair with Yusuf?" They replied, "Allah forbid. We know no evil against him." Then the wife of the Aziz herself admitted the truth. She said, "Now the truth is clear. I tried to seduce him, and he is truly among the truthful." Surah Yusuf, 1251. Yusuf alayhis salamu said, "This was so that the Aziz may know that I did not betray him in his absence, and Allah does not guide the plans of the betrayers." Surah Yusuf, 1252. Finally, the truth was out. Years of pain, false accusations, and prison, all wiped clean. Now the king sent for him again, and this time Yusuf accepted. He met the king face to face, and the king saw something special in him. He said, "Indeed, today you are with us, established and trusted." Yusuf replied, "Appoint me over the storehouses of the land. Indeed, I am a knowledgeable guardian." And just like that, the slave became a minister. The prisoner became a ruler. Subhanallah. Just like Yusuf had predicted, after 7 good years, a famine began. People from all over came to Egypt to ask for food. And one day, a group of men arrived. They looked tired, dusty, and desperate. They bowed before the minister of Egypt. They did not know that this was their own brother, Yusuf alayhis salam. But Yusuf knew them. He saw the faces of the very brothers who once threw him into a well, who lied to their father, who sold him as a slave. And yet, Yusuf remained calm. He did not reveal himself. He gave them their grain and asked, "Bring me your youngest brother next time. I will not give you grain if you don't bring him." That youngest brother was Binyamin, Yusuf's only full brother. The brothers returned home and told their father, Yaqub, what happened. Yaqub alayhis salam, still grieving Yusuf after all these years, was afraid to send Binyamin. But the famine was hard, and he agreed, after taking a strong promise from them. He said, "I will not let him go unless you swear by Allah that you will bring him back to me, unless you are surrounded." So, they promised. The brothers returned to Egypt with Binyamin. This time, Yusuf alayhis salam brought them into his private chamber. He looked into Binyamin's eyes and whispered, "I am your brother, so do not be sad for what they used to do." Surah Yusuf, 1269. What a beautiful reunion. After so many years, the two brothers were together again, but Yusuf had a plan. When the brothers were ready to leave, he secretly placed the king's cup into Binyamin's bag. Then, an announcement was made. "O caravan, you are thieves!" The brothers turned around in shock. "What? We are not thieves!" The guards searched their bags and found the cup in Binyamin's sack. Now the law was, the thief would stay in Egypt as punishment. Yusuf alayhis salam said, "He will stay with us." The brothers begged, pleaded, but Yusuf refused. They returned home without Binyamin. Their father Yaqub alayhis salam was crushed. He cried so much that he lost his eyesight, But even in his pain, he said, I only complain of my sorrow and grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. Surah Yusuf, 1286. He told them, O my sons, go and search for Yusuf and his brother, and do not lose hope in the mercy of Allah. So the brothers returned to Egypt again, this time truly broken, truly humbled. They came to Yusuf and said, O Aziz, hardship has touched us and our family. We bring only poor goods, but please give us full measure. Be charitable to us. Now the moment had come. Yusuf alayhi salam looked at them and asked, Do you know what you did to Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant? The brothers froze, their hearts stopped. How did this man know? Then Yusuf alayhi salam said the words that shook them. I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has certainly favored us. Indeed, whoever fears Allah and is patient, then indeed, Allah does not waste the reward of the good doers. Surah Yusuf, 1290. The brothers fell silent. Their eyes widened in shame and fear. They said, By Allah, certainly Allah has preferred you over us, and indeed, we have been sinners. And what did Yusuf say? Did he take revenge? Did he shout at them? He said, No blame will there be upon you today. Allah will forgive you, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Surah Yusuf, 1292. Subhanallah. What mercy! What character! What heart! Yusuf forgave them completely. Then Yusuf gave them his shirt. He said, Take this shirt and cast it over my father's face, and he will become clear-sighted. Then bring your family to me. The brothers raced back to their father. As they neared home, Yaqub alayhi salam, blind and heartbroken, suddenly said, Indeed, I smell the scent of Yusuf. If only you did not think me mad. They placed the shirt on his face, and instantly, his eyesight returned. Yaqub cried tears of joy. Did I not tell you that I know from Allah what you do not know? And finally, the entire family packed their belongings and traveled to Egypt. Yusuf stood at the gates, waiting, his heart full. When they arrived, he hugged his parents and said, Enter Egypt, Allah willing, in security. He raised his parents onto the throne. And then, remember the dream? I saw 11 stars, and the sun, and the moon, prostrating to me. It came true. His parents and his 11 brothers bowed to him in respect. And Yusuf alayhi salam said, O my father, this is the explanation of my vision of before. My Lord has made it come true. Surah Yusuf, 12:100. Then Yusuf alayhi salam turned to Allah and said one of the most beautiful du'as. My Lord, you have given me of the kingdom, and taught me the interpretation of dreams. Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and the hereafter. Cause me to die as a Muslim and join me with the righteous. Surah Yusuf, 12:101. What a perfect ending. From a well, to slavery, to prison, to power. But Yusuf alayhi salam never let his heart leave Allah. And Allah never left him. Now that we've heard this incredible story, let's pause and reflect. Why did Allah dedicate an entire surah to this story? Why did He call it Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of stories? Because within it, there are timeless lessons for every generation. Let's explore them, one by one. Yusuf alayhi salam had a dream as a child. 11 stars, the sun, and the moon bowing to him. At that moment, he could have never imagined how it would come true. He was thrown in a well, sold as a slave, jailed unfairly. But in the end, it happened. Every part of that dream became real. This teaches us, don't rush your destiny. Sometimes the road to greatness is filled with hardship. But if you hold on, trust Allah, and keep your faith, your dream will become real. Allah's timing is always perfect. Throughout his life, Yusuf alayhi salam was tested in every way, betrayed by family, tempted by desire, wrongly accused, forgotten, in prison. Yet he never lost hope, never complained to people. His strength was silent, and his patience was powerful. Real patience isn't just waiting. It's trusting Allah while you wait. When Yusuf alayhi salam became the minister of Egypt, His brothers stood before him, ashamed, afraid. He could have punished them. He could have imprisoned them, or even banished them. But what did he say? No blame will there be upon you today. Allah will forgive you. That is true greatness. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is a sign of spiritual strength. When you let go of your pain and trust Allah's justice, you rise higher in His eyes. Sometimes, we ask, why did this happen to me? But when we look at Yusuf's story, we realize something deeper. Every hardship led to something greater. The well led him to Egypt. The prison led him to the king. The famine reunited him with his family. Even our pain has purpose. You may not see it now, but Allah sees the full picture, and His plan is always better than ours. Yusuf alayhi salam told his father about his dream. What did Yaqub alayhi salam say? O my son, do not relate your dream to your brothers, or they will plot against you. This teaches us something powerful. Sometimes the people closest to us may not handle our success well. It doesn't mean we hate them. It means we're wise. Not every blessing needs to be shared. Some things are better kept between you and Allah. Yusuf alayhi salam was in the well, then out. He was a slave, then free. He was imprisoned, then released. No matter what test you face, it won't last forever. If you stay patient, stay kind, and stay connected to Allah, your relief will come. And when it does, it'll be more than you ever imagined. Let's not forget the other hero in this story, Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, a father who lost his most beloved son. He didn't just lose him to death. He lost him with no closure, no body, no sign. Just a shirt with fake blood and a story that didn't make sense. Yet what did he do? He said, "So patience is most fitting. And Allah is the one sought for help." Surah Yusuf 12:18. He waited. For decades. He cried until he lost his eyesight. But never once did he blame Allah. He said, "I only complain of my sorrow to Allah." How many of us can do that? When we're tested, we sometimes complain to people, blame our fate, and feel like Allah forgot us. But Yaqub alayhi salam shows us how to handle grief with dignity. He teaches us, even in sadness, you can be close to Allah. Even when your heart breaks, your faith can stay whole. This story also teaches us about the tests women face, and the strength they can show. The wife of Al-Aziz tried to tempt Yusuf, but later, she admitted the truth. Now the truth is clear. I tried to seduce him, and he is among the truthful. Her honesty, though late, shows growth. And the other women who cut their hands? They also admitted, "We know no evil against him." These moments remind us, everyone makes mistakes, but the real strength is in owning up and returning to truth. And it also reminds us, women, like men, have the ability to grow spiritually, to repent, and to rise. When the king offered Yusuf alayhi salam a position of power, he didn't hesitate. He said, "Appoint me over the storehouses of the land. I am a knowledgeable guardian." Some people fear power, but Yusuf alayhi salam saw it as a chance to serve people, to do good. Leadership is not about fame. It's about responsibility. Yusuf didn't take power to show off. He took it to save millions from starvation. So, if you're ever given a role of influence, use it for good. Lead like Yusuf, with integrity, wisdom, and mercy. At the end of the story, after all the struggles, Yusuf alayhi salam made one of the most touching du'as in the Quran. Let's read it again slowly. "My Lord, you have given me some authority, and taught me how to interpret dreams. Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and the next. Cause me to die as a Muslim, and join me with the righteous." Look at his humility. After ruling a nation, forgiving his enemies, and saving his people, he didn't boast. He turned to Allah and asked for a good ending. That's the true goal. Not power, not status, but to die as a Muslim and be with the righteous in the hereafter. One more thing. This surah is not just a story. It's a masterpiece. The way Allah tells it, with suspense, emotion, wisdom, and flow, it pulls the heart. The beginning connects to the end. The dreams are fulfilled. The characters grow. It's like a perfect novel, except it's divine. The Quran calls it Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of stories. Why? Because it's not just to entertain us. It's to guide us, heal us, and shape us. Let's bring all of this to your life. Right now. Are you facing betrayal? So did Yusuf. Are you being treated unfairly? So was he. Are you stuck in a place you don't deserve? So was he. But he never gave up. So don't give up. If you're struggling, remember the well. If you feel trapped, remember the prison. If you feel forgotten, remember the years Yusuf was left alone. Then remember the ending. Remember how Allah raised him. Your ending can be just as beautiful if you keep your heart connected to Allah. After all the pain, after all the years apart, Yusuf alayhis salam is standing at the height of power. His brothers, who once threw him in a dark well, are now standing before him, ashamed, broken, seeking mercy. He could have turned away. He could have reminded them of their cruelty. But instead, he says, "No blame will there be upon you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful." Surah Yusuf 12:92. What heart could speak such words? Only a heart filled with iman, mercy, and a deep understanding of Allah's forgiveness. And then he calls for his parents. They come to Egypt, and the moment Yusuf sees his beloved father Yaqub, he places his parents on the throne, and they all fall into sujud, bowing in respect. And what does Yusuf alayhis salam say? "O my father, this is the explanation of my dream of before. My Lord has made it come true." Surah Yusuf 12:100. Subhanallah. That one dream that began the story now becomes reality. A dream that once felt impossible, now fulfilled in the most beautiful way. Never lose hope in Allah's plans. After all he had been through, betrayal, slavery, temptation, prison. What does Yusuf alayhis salam focus on? Not the pain, not the struggle, but the mercy. He says, "Indeed, my Lord is subtle in what he wills. Truly, he is the all-knowing, the all-wise." Surah Yusuf 12:100. This is a mindset of a believer. When we look back on our lives, we can focus on the pain, or we can focus on the growth. Yusuf alayhis salam teaches us to focus on Allah's subtle blessings hidden in the storm. Even when life hurts, there's mercy in it. Sometimes we don't see it until years later. The story ends with Yusuf alayhis salam making a powerful, emotional dua. "My Lord, you have given me of kingdom and taught me the interpretation of dreams. Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and the next. Cause me to die a Muslim and join me with the righteous." Surah Yusuf 12:101. Look at his humility. Despite everything he achieved, he doesn't brag. He asks for a good death, a peaceful ending, a reunion with the righteous. This is the final lesson of the story. No matter what we achieve in this life, our ultimate success is to return to Allah with our hearts clean and full of faith. When this surah was revealed, the Prophet Muhammad was going through some of the most painful moments in his life. He had just lost his beloved wife Khadijah, R.A. He lost his uncle Abu Talib, his biggest supporter. The people of Ta'if had rejected him with stones. It was a year of grief. And in that time, Allah revealed Surah Yusuf. Why? To comfort the Prophet, peace be upon him. To remind him, you are not alone. Other prophets before you were betrayed, suffered, felt abandoned, but they were never forgotten. And neither are you, and neither are we. This story is a gift to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and to us. The Quran doesn't just give commands, it tells stories. Why? Because stories touch the heart. They stay with us. They give us real-life examples of faith in action. Yusuf's story is not just to be heard once and forgotten. It's a surah we should return to every time life gets hard. It reminds us that beauty can come from darkness. That pain can lead to power. that patience always pays off, and that Allah is always in control. You might wonder, this happened thousands of years ago. What does it have to do with me? More than you think. Are you a young person feeling misunderstood by your family? So was Yusuf. Are you struggling with temptation in a world full of desires? So was Yusuf. Are you falsely accused or treated unfairly? So was Yusuf. Are you waiting for your dreams to come true, but it's taking forever? So did Yusuf. That's why this story will never get old. Because no matter the time, no matter the place, the lessons remain the same. You know what the most powerful part of Yusuf's life was? It wasn't the palace. It wasn't his beauty. It wasn't his position as a minister. It was his unshakable faith. That's what made him great. So if you're seeking power, seek the power of belief. If you're looking for strength, build your patience. If you want success, build your relationship with Allah. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. Dear listener, you've just heard the best of stories. A tale of a boy betrayed by his own blood. A youth tested with the worst temptations. A man who rose from the prison to power, but never lost his connection to Allah. This is not just a story. It's a manual for your life. So, what now? Now, you take the lessons and live by them. Be patient, be forgiving, be grateful, be strong in your faith. And when life throws you into your own well, remember, indeed, with hardship, there is ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. And remember, whoever fears Allah, He will make a way out for them, and will provide from where they never imagined. Surah At-Talaq 65:2-3. Just like He did for Yusuf. Let's end this story with a prayer. Allahumma ja'alna min as-sabirin, waghfir lana dhunubana, warzuqna husna al-khatima, waj'alna min ibadika as-salihin. O Allah, make us among those who are patient. Forgive our sins. Grant us a beautiful ending, and raise us among your righteous slaves. Ameen. If you found peace in this story, if your heart felt hope again, then don't let the message stop here. Share this story with someone who's struggling. Let them hear the beauty of Allah's wisdom. Let them know they are not alone. And remember, dear viewer, you are never forgotten by Allah. The well didn't break Yusuf. The prison didn't destroy him. And this world won't break you if you stay connected to your Creator. So hold on. Be patient. And trust the one who controls everything. Because your own story might just be more beautiful than you can imagine. This was the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. A tale of patience and power. May it be a guiding light for your heart. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.